In the immortal words of Isabella Rossellini to Meryl Streep in Death Becomes Her. So now we're going to go to therapy. Now some therapy? If you don't know the scene in the movie, you're not gay.
Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day Fiancé.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality, yes, let's love.
Now some therapy? Now we're in therapy.
Now, my teacher said this. So I say this all the time in college. People usually go to couples therapy when it's too late.
It is so way too late for these two.
Too late, baby, you. It's too late. You got tarantulas and a hoe phone.
I was looking all night for the hoe phone. Every time we say hoe phone, it's just ridiculous.
It's wonderful. I want to have a hoe phone.
I don't think you could pull off a hoe phone.
No, I'm not going to. Wouldn't use it. I don't want to touch it. I just want to have an extra phone. It makes me feel like I got secrets.
But just an extra phone isn't a hoe phone. You have to use the phone to make it a hoe phone.
That's true. I actually think if we ever get back on TikTok, I'm getting them like a
hoe TikTok account.
I'm getting a hoe phone for my TikTok because I'm not putting it on my phone. I don't trust them.
A burner.
Yeah, I'm getting a burner phone.
You're not understanding the concept of a hoe phone.
I do understand it. I'm trying to make it mine, but you're right. I don't have it in me.
You're not made for hoe phones.
Y'all,
I want one, and I could probably use one. I would just lose it.
You would lose it.
Yeah.
I like that as soon as we started recording, I think the air show just started, and I just started. Y'all, we're in Fort Lauderdale. We just wrapped up our show last night. And
the third leg
of
the If You Can Dream It tour.
So we just finished it, but the hotel did tell me this morning, oh, great, you're here for the air show. It's going to be pretty loud. It's today and tomorrow. So, of course, it's been quiet all morning, and I just heard, meow. So if it sounds like Airwolf is upon us, you got to fucking deal with it.
Yeah. So, and if you have trauma related to air disasters, maybe not this.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Maybe not this show. If you have Hindenburg related trauma,
yeah. This is season 8, episode 9, The Lovely Duckling.
The Lovely Duckling.
The Lovely Duckling. Did we want to do? I forgot when we were doing cabarets before. Didn't you want to do some type of sketch?
Called The Ugly Fuckling.
Oh. I don't remember what it was about.
It was. I don't know if this will ever get done because it was such a weird idea.
It was one of your more weird ideas.
I was Puss in Boots.
You were Puss in Boots. You were going to be Puss in Boots.
And you were the Ugly Fuckling.
Which now if we did it, we would call it Buss in Boots.
Yeah, Buss in Boots.
Buss in Boots.
Yes, it would be Buss in Boots.
It would be Buss in Boots.
I
just heard another plane. Like literally when we press record.
Literalmente. Oh, Jesus. Y'all, if our voices sound shredded, it's because they are.
Oh, yeah. I was going to be the ugly fuckling. And I think you wanted to be like you.
I wanted to make you over.
You wanted to make me over. And then at the end, you said something like, she's still ugly. And then you walked away smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, that was it. And I said, I'm going to go fuck a sailor. Get gonorrhea. for the 10th time.
Oh, yeah, because we're going to use the alley behind my
Yeah.
apartment. We got a lot of inspiration from that alley.
And we bought those horror, like the boots I bought were like red thigh-high boots.
That you couldn't walk
That
in.
I could not walk in.
That's amazing. Anyway, on the cutting-
black ones that I'm wearing on tour, the thigh-highs, actually I can
you'd
walk
have to
in
wear
them.
the red ones
Yeah.
if you did it.
Yeah.
Cutting room floor, y'all. Cutting room floor.
Thank you to everyone who came out to the third leg of the If You Can Dream It tour. This is going up on Sunday. So
Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day
those
to
who
you mothers who
celebrate.
are listening to us instead of your yapping children.
And if that's a day that's triggering for you, then we tell you, because of a relationship with your mother or guardian or whatever, do whatever the fuck
Do
you
whatever
want
the
that
one
day.
makes you happy because you don't have to participate. That's the great thing about life. You can choose what you want to participate in.
Yes.
It's amazing.
And if I will tell this for any of you that recently lost your mother, the first Father's Day was hard for me after Dad. I didn't expect it to be. It was just so much of everything. But I'll let people now kind of a couple years after. Now I see it and it just makes me think of my dad in a positive, happy way. So if you're going through that kind of a first year bullshit of Mother's Day, it will get better, I promise.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's it's going to be a lot better than these couples' fortunes.
Oh, this was
a dark episode.
This was a rough episode.
I'm laughing because I don't know what
I'm
to
really
do.
glad we did not have to do a live show on this episode.
Same. Yeah, because it was a lot of Ed and Liz heavy.
Yeah. Who are done, by the way.
they're
If
done,
anybody
so.
needs to know. So
Yeah.
done. We never need to talk about them again. Please, God, never.
We think that Angela and Mike are going to step in next week because when we got the screener for this, so we didn't see next week on. But also, they might show. This is probably halfway in the season, so they might show like a this season on, and then that's when they bring in Angela and Michael.
I don't know.
They're coming.
I think this season's going to be pretty long. I could see them easily having 22 episodes. Yep.
Well, Literal Mente and Manuel are going to be bringing it repeatedly. Poor Jonathan. Just trying.
This was like some type of like peace treaty signed at Ghent, and it failed.
It failed. There's so many friends trying to help people out. We did not have Nicole and Miss Mood this episode.
It's fine for me. I gotta say, I sent this to Caitlin. There is
Now you're in therapy.
Now you're there. Now
Sorry.
it's therapy.
That's a great line.
Y'all, if you've never seen that film, please do yourself a favor. Goldie Hawn, Meryl Streep, Isabel Rossellini, Bruce Willis. Fantastic film.
Wonderful film.
Campy, Death Becomes Her. It's a musical now with Megan Hilty and Jennifer Samard.
I'm not really into that normally. However, I think that
it'd
could be
fun.
a great musical.
It's so campy and fun.
And I love Megan Hilty.
Me too. It's a shame because she tried to get work in Hollywood, and she's theater pretty and on and kind of striking and extremely talented, but you put her on a sitcom and she fades into the background. It happened to her with like 3 different shows.
I think a lot of theater people, they'll be like ingenues leading men in theater, but on television they're character actors. And they don't know how to deal with that.
And the thing is, she's extremely pretty, photogenic face, so she's not really a character actor.
Like
so
what's
she's
her
in the
name
middle.
did pretty good at that.
TV is hard for
The
that.
other blonde, she was the leading person, but she made it. She was very quirky.
I don't know who you're
and
talking about.
She was on the show where
Describe.
Blonde woman. I love her. I don't.
You're already failing.
I am blonde woman. She was in Sweeney Todd. She was Mrs. Lovett.
Annalee Ashford.
Annalee. She had a show that went. It was like 2 seasons. Dead to Me, not Dead to Me, or something like that.
She was on the Masters of Sex, and that did well.
No, she was on a sitcom too, and it was actually a pretty decent sitcom.
I never saw her on a sitcom.
I think it was a Chuck Lorre show. It was like where Be Positive. It was where the guy was looking for a donor, and she was the
with
donor.
Thomas Middleditch.
But they made her like she was the lead, but it was this quirky kind of character, and she fell into that.
But she is a character.
That's true. She is a
actress.
character on Broadway. Yeah, that's true.
Megan Hilty is not a character actress.
No, I love her. I went and saw it. She's thinking
This is such a gay conversation.
Gay. Please, can a plane just land on us right now and end this?
Can a bitch get an air disaster? Just make that a t-shirt. Can a bitch get an air disaster?
All right.
Let's
get into this.
Just any announcements. Big announcement. We have I think they're coming Monday, which is tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Yes, we'll announce it on Monday, but
Tickets VIP will go on sale on Wednesday, and general will go on sale on Friday.
at least that's what we told our booker, and that's what we hope what happens. As you know,
Yeah.
we're just like
I just had a wave of nausea hit me because I realized I'm going to be flying on Monday.
Oh, I think I'm gonna go. I've got to go like to some restaurant and like get some chicken bones and like do some type of some voodoo or some shit to hopefully make this happen.
So we have 4 new additional dates. Could we say the cities?
Yeah, let's say the city.
Okay. Atlanta, Charlotte, Los Angeles, Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Those are going to be announced. We are still waiting on both Denver
Philadelphia,
and Philly.
Yeah.
Did I mention Charlotte? I
You
did.
did. Yeah, you
okay,
did.
just take it.
Hometown
Atlanta,
show.
Charlotte, Los Angeles, Las Vegas. Those are set. We will announce those dates on Monday on our Instagram. So please watch for that.
Yeah, they'll be in June. They'll be in June, and we're hoping for the other 2 dates. We don't know if I will say this: it could happen later in the fall.
Yeah.
but there's other things at play besides that. I guess we don't even understand. I don't know. Sun flares, the moon's in orbit somewhere. I don't
Solar
know.
flares.
I don't know. I don't know at this point. But just know we're doing
Y'all
best.
like you. We're doing the best we fucking
are.
can.
So we recorded, I do want to say we have road shows of Love During Lockup, which aired last night on Friday.
Yeah,
and
it's on the Patreon or the RG Plus.
Yes, we recorded Seeking Sister Wife as well last night and in... No,
Love in
last night
Paradise.
I'm saying Seeking Sister Wife in Fort Lauderdale. That'll be a little bit later just because internet sucks here. We're trying to get that out. So if things were a little delayed, it's again, sometimes we record a show and then there's no way to send it to Christina because our internet is like
Right.
2.
Also, we did another road show of Love in Paradise episode 4 that will drop on Monday.
And then for those of you who hate road shows, that's all of the road shows.
Go fuck yourself.
For now.
And I'm fine with it because I don't like doing them.
No, I mean, I say they hate road shows because they, like you, they get so stressed in traffic, they can't actually listen to it.
I understand that because that's how I felt.
Yeah.
When you swerved across 3 lanes.
I did it one time.
We had to cut, actually.
You know what?
Because I lost my mind.
You know what? I just did what everybody in Florida did. I adapted. You should respect that. You always talk about adapting.
We've been talking about this. I don't know how y'all drive in this state. It's bad.
It's bad. I know. I'm driving to the airport, and everybody says Miami's worse, and so I'm terrified.
I'm not talking about the roads, which are deplorable. I'm talking about how no one respects any type of traffic law or decorum.
It's true.
It's really bad.
It's really bad. All right. Speaking of chicken bones, let's talk about Emily and Kobe.
Going to the knock door. Does she want to be a singer?
No, I don't think so. Maybe.
I just feel like anyone who sings on television kind of wants to be a singer.
She seems like she was being silly, but maybe. That's true. It takes a lot of chutzpah to just sing like that.
I know.
Although she
kind of does.
The reason why and on their pillow talk, even they're kind of a stars, they're both very good at just being themselves on camera. So I could see her just being
that.
good. Like, I don't think Jasmine wants to be a singer, but I could see her belting out a little something.
No, I couldn't. She's way too self-effacing for that.
Well, you never know. They're going to the market because his family is coming over for dinner. And what was it that she did sing? I listened to it like 3 times. I didn't know the song.
She was like, it wasn't a song. She was making it up.
Oh.
It was that kind of thing where people just say things and they make up songs about them.
Like we do?
Yeah, but ours are good. She's like, going to the knock door.
I will stand by that Disney World Girth Train medley. That was our best work.
But what I'm talking about when people do is they hear phrases and they kind of sing them like they're being auto-tuned. That's a common thing basic people do. Sorry.
Okay.
That's why I kind of like eye rolled it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
It was a TikTok trend a while back. Yeah.
Missed that one because I'm not on TikTok because they hate us, so I'm not giving them my time.
They are they're making dinner and inviting over
Francis, his sister. Oh, the parents.
Franca.
Yes. Oh, I wrote.
I have a feeling that's an autocorrect.
Yeah, it corrected to Francis.
So you just said it without missing a beat. Is there not a connection that goes, there wasn't a Francis in this? That must be wrong. I'm actually impressed at this because there's no running edit.
So much. We watch so much. It just goes in and out, in and out. I'm just like a.
But
I'm
you
like
just
that.
watched this.
I did. Well, I guess. I mean, it was last night I watched it.
Oh, you watched it last night?
Yeah, It wasn't. I couldn't
I
go to
watched it
sleep.
this morning.
I'm like that. I'm like those beer bottles with the glove on top of them in the beginning of Laverne and Shirley. It's just going
Vacant.
Yeah, just whoop whoop with the glove going. Where am I?
Anyway, well, they're making traditional. I just forgot Cameroonian food.
Yes,
Yes.
Cameroonian.
Now, as Emily says, she can make a mean meatloaf. When she says, "I love to do dinner parties," what kind of food do you? They live in fucking Kansas.
Oh, it's home. Oh, it's the kind of food like when I go to Oklahoma.
And when it gets exotic, they do jalapeno popper dip.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's great and everything. I'm just saying, I here's the thing.
That is very true. When my brother makes, because they make jalapeno poppers.
Yeah.
And when people come over, they're like, oh.
This is so exotic.
They're like, oh my gosh, I've never had this before.
Here's
Speaking of food, can I just say too?
Yeah.
Y'all, I've seen the clip of the Dr. Pepper with pickles. I haven't tried it. I will. But anyway, you don't need to send it to me. I've seen it, and as many of you, I've literally got like 30 people to send, which I love. I love that. I'm not bitching. Oh, there's a big ass plane. That sounds like it's right over us. My God.
Y'all, we're not taking this out. We're literally in an air show.
We're in an air show above us.
So this is what you're going to get. This is the time when we can record this.
Anyway,
so,
I will make that video. So go ahead. What you were saying about the cooking.
I've been sent that Dr. Pepper video too. Mm-hmm. And I just go, y'all, get busy. Get busy. Stop doing things that are just like, I don't know.
I'll be, Dr. Pepper does all these new flavors. I'll be honest, I don't like one of them. I just want plain Dr. Pepper.
One of them.
I don't, but whatever, I'll try it.
I don't know where we were.
We were talking about I think talking about the food and what she normally cooks at home versus the difference with this. And I noticed something that she said, and I went, oh, you mentioned this going to Colombia, that she was like, a lot of the food's not refrigerated.
Yeah.
That's an American thing, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
It's not even that it's refrigerated. It's just that Americans think things will spoil very quickly. Here's the issue, though. A lot of what you're seeing in that market was literally caught fresh that morning. A lot of things for us have been refrigerated for so long, they're already old. So that way things don't spoil. In Europe, they'll just leave things out because they were bought at the farmer's market or the cafe this morning. So the supply chain for us is all about making things last for a very long time. Like milk should not last as long as it does
Really?
And eggs. Because eggs can last a very long time in the U.S.
I thought all eggs can last because they're hermetically sealed. Is that not true?
No, but if they're hot, they'll go bad.
Oh, well, hot. Yes,
Yeah.
it gets hot. Yeah.
But I'm saying,
But they can be room temperature, right? That's what Ina Garten said.
I think so. Yeah, but I think they'll go bad after you leave them 2 weeks room temperature.
Do we have an egg?
No one use this to try anything. We're not really.
We don't want you to
Are we really seriously doing these with these fucking planes?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it. Don't get salmonella on our account. If you're a sissy egg expert, come at us.
I just know that
I'm interested.
it is Americans are usually kind of freaked out when they see things out that aren't being refrigerated.
And I'm going to say this. I think she handled this totally cool. She didn't, not once did she pull a,
no,
I'm not eating the pork.
No.
She, to her credit, bitch jumped right in. She was like, okay, let's go. Let's do this.
I think we're now to the point in this story.
That was a very loud F-16 jet.
If you could see my face right now, everybody.
Oh, we're being trolled.
Just to focus.
I feel like everything's homophobic right now. What's happening?
These planes are gay bashing me sonically. Here's the issue. I think she is being a good sport about this, and I also think these stakes are being inflated of this section, because when they're talking about the bride price and like Lisa kind of having a problem with it, it's a dowry. If you call it a dowry, it's fine. This has been done for so long. No one has ever said, but a dowry feels like someone's paying for my daughter.
David gets it.
Well, just because it's called a bride price is the problem.
Yeah.
Bride price.
But I do think there's a little bit of fraudacity in it. And, but if you remember, Lisa was kind of would pop up a little more dramatics and get a little sensitive about things back in their first season.
I think, so we come back with cow skin.
Yes.
And I imagine it does not smell good when it's just taken off of the cow.
It doesn't, no.
And so the sister Franca does come over, who is a character in Light in the Piazza.
Oh, yes.
A sister. You say that, oh, yes, I know her.
I don't know
I know her song.
Well, I knew Frances, but I'm new to Franca.
Is it Jessica Lange? Yeah, Jessica Lange would be Frances. Never mind.
No. Again, come hit us, plane.
Exactly. So they're making chicken, fufu, plantains.
Plantains.
I think plantains, the boiling is part of the like fufu. Maybe it's like mofongo. Maybe it has something to do with that. Cameroon says he's come at me. I'm not sure.
Good, actually.
I'm just throwing darts at a board. So the sister basically says, Kobe loves his traditional food. I can't believe he's gone without it for so long.
Yeah, she's like, he likes to
This
eat.
is the one thing where I still can't believe she did not learn to cook one recipe for him.
Well, I wonder if I agree with you. I also wonder if is it because we don't have those ingredients here? Maybe we do. I don't know.
You can, but
I mean,
you can
maybe
cook.
in Los Angeles, but I don't know in Kansas if you can get those kind of things.
I'm sure there are substitutions for just
but you
like
could make
stew.
mofongo or something like that, and you can get plantains.
Yeah, and so, but I think even more than that, you can find the easiest thing possible. The internet, y'all, is wide and large. You could Google.
Don't talk about me like that. Like I'm not here.
You could Google Cameroonian traditional things, and people would say, here's a way to do like a chickpea stew or something like that. That I guarantee you he would be so happy.
Oh yeah.
And it may just be that,
and maybe she already has. They're just not telling us that.
Possibly.
For the story stakes.
Possibly. I feel this is a very inflated storyline. It's not that I hate watching it, because at least I get to watch Emily and Kobe, who seem to have a pretty reasonably healthy relationship.
And they love each other. This, you know what? There's this happily ever after to me feels what I like about The Other Way. I get to learn about a culture that I don't know a lot about. And it is, I gotta say, it is, yes, with the clothing and stuff, they were kind of triggering, but again, it's nice to see. We are so used to seeing just the fucking pot houses being fucking terrible.
Podcasts.
Whatever they're called.
You said pot house.
I did. But they're being terrible at all this food and sniffing at it and acting repulsed. And this family is just like, I mean, they're like, oh, wow, that really stinks. But nobody's doing anything that feels like a shameful of their culture. I think Top Gun's above us now, y'all.
Just waiting for the plane.
Are they just going to start playing Danger Zone, just blasting at any moment?
And you hear,
Woo! That
we're doing the best we can with. We just had no idea there would be an air show over our hotel. Anyway, so
Get us out of Florida.
I know, right? The knock door is happening. His parents are gonna come over with an elder, and again, they're already married, but this is a tradition that's important. I'm glad that Emily is saying, "Yeah, let's just do that," because most of his friends hate me, and so I just kind of want to get over this.
Yes,
I think she's come around to the fact that this is 2 weeks out of my life max.
They're never going to like me. What else can I do?
The friends, and then it's like, I'm just going to have a good time. Then we're going to go back and live our fucking lives.
Yeah.
We'll go back to Kansas and meatloaf and mashed potatoes and apple pie.
Exactly. Exactly.
And he'll never see a plantain again.
Exactly. That was a loud one. So maybe y'all aren't hearing this.
Yo, this literally just started when we were recording. So Dave asks, and he makes a list. Now this does show concern. He actually Googles.
I love her family.
He did some work.
Yes. I still wish the sister was here that hates her.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy that. He did some, because Kobe said,
A goat, a liter of palm oil, an umbrella, a wooden cane.
he said an umbrella, and Kobe looks at him, and David said, we need an umbrella.
And then we bring up the bride price. Which Lisa balks and says, it sounds like you're paying for my daughter. And again, this is such an old tradition, y'all. And it's like a dowry where it is, it's the opposite of a dowry. I'm sorry.
You would know more about payment and
a dowry
marriage than I do.
Is what a woman takes to her husband.
Ah.
But these kind of things have been around in cult.
Yeah, oh, wow. That was, okay. All right. That was loud.
I don't know how I can make points. I just don't know. But I was going to say, this has been around for a while, and it's just cultural. It has nothing to do with paying for someone.
Here's the deal.
Anymore.
I think that even supersedes that. Your daughter is fine with it.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a problem with it. You don't own your child. It's actually none of your business. If you want to support your kid, and Lisa she is going to support her kid, but at the end of the day,
yeah.
I do want to say, too, I talked about some live show, but since we're talking about them now, Kobe has come out with a new line of underwear. It's African-inspired, and he's modeling it.
Well, good for him.
Oh, good for us. He looks good. His dick is huge.
Oh, yeah, it's big. Yeah. Can we move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here comes the plane right on cue to like a transition. Let's talk about online cheating.
Okay, and we just need to say as well, we have seen the videos that have surfaced online. Trigger warning, it's pretty heavily emotional abuse. So don't Google it if you have associations with that or don't need to see it. But Rob was basically Sophie recorded some stuff, obviously, when he was yelling and screaming at her. When they were fighting and screaming at her. And some parts in the car where basically, y'all, it's stuff that we already kind of knew was going on, but on the camera, things were a lot more sanitized.
And these were released because Sophie
sent them to her mother.
Claire released them.
Yeah.
And there's even more. Again, we're not like a news show. Y'all can go into Reddit and look at all that, or it's in the Facebook group, people posted it. So we're recording this on Saturday. On Friday, May the 10th, Sophie's mom was arrested.
Yes, in Texas.
In Texas for
making threats.
Making terroristic threats to a family/household.
Yeah.
So,
it's messy, y'all.
And Sophie,
say the least.
And before that, Sophie and her mom were fighting online and posting disparaging
Because she
things.
supports Rob because
I'm actually really glad we're covering them and that this is being shown. I know it's triggering people.
Yeah.
And there's time codes in our episode, so if you want to skip them, that's cool.
This is textbook cycle of abuse.
But that's why I want it shown.
Yep.
Because someone is going to see their relationship.
Yep.
not even, and sadly, not just in the relationship with Rob, but someone's going to see their parent in Claire. And I said, yeah, go ahead.
And also, y'all, Claire and Rob are mirror images of each other.
They're two narcissists, and Sophie is having to deal with it. I do feel sorry for Sophie because it makes sense why Sophie feels, and you can see this in therapy, that actually Rob is more effusive of describing his emotions than Sophie is. She's so emotionally neutered from trauma and
from narcanning her mother.
The best thing, and that if you think about it, Rob probably isn't as bad as her mom was.
Wow.
I guarantee it than what she's dealt with before.
We're not minimizing Rob here, y'all, but think about this. We choose what's familiar.
And I think I feel in my gut, just after watching this, just from experience with clients, I think it for sure Sophie has sexual trauma.
Wow.
And which leads to her that sex with Rob is difficult and why she gets triggered by certain things so easily.
Yeah.
And why Rob doesn't understand. I think Rob doesn't get what isn't probably attracted to masculine or buff women. I think there's something Sophie gets so easily triggered by that. And I don't mean that that's a problem. I just mean, I don't know if they understand. If she just told him she was bi before they got married, I think there's a lot in probably both their lives, but even more in Sophie's life that Rob doesn't even know about.
True. I think the other part of this is Rob was so freaked out because someone might think he's a little weird or a bad guy.
True. Yeah, true.
Y'all, this is the most narcissistic behavior, most just like textbook example of narcissistic behavior, especially in a therapist. Because like, I need the therapist to agree with me. I need the therapist to think I'm a good guy.
Yeah, when he was talking over her and all that. It's this, because I want to have people get places somewhere to land. If you see any of your relationships with Rob or with Claire, I highly recommend things like Al-Anon, CODA meetings, Codependency Anonymous. There are places you can go, those two specifically because I remember the first time I went and kind of attended one of those.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. Al-Anon is for families of alcoholics.
Yes, it does. Or addiction. Sophie's mom, Claire.
Oh,
that's
thank you.
Yeah.
So, I see. Okay, I thought you were talking about Rob and Sophie.
Thanks for making the clarification because some people might not know that. So I appreciate that. Yes. So, but with Codependency Anonymous for Rob or both, I just think that. Anyway, that's just look at those resources. If you relate to that at all, just go to a meeting and try it. Maybe you'll relate to it.
I'll say this too. Without a lot of effort or some type of horrific thing happening to him, Rob ain't going to change, y'all.
No.
He's who he is.
And why would he change? He's a very good-looking straight man with a beautiful butthole. Why would he change?
Pristine hole.
Pristine. So
that's what they called me in college.
There goes pristine hole.
It sparkles.
It sparkles.
Like diamonds.
Oh, God. So anyway, we're not going to beat it through, but they do talk to the therapist.
Vielka is their therapist's name. Vielka.
She contacted us to be on the show interview, but we don't do that kind of stuff.
I honestly, there's nothing that wants to make. She didn't do a bad job. I think she was
did great.
Really good at walking through, but there's nothing in me that wants to talk about these people any more than I have to.
If she was doing a session with Gino and Jasmine, maybe, but not with Sophie and Rob. So no offense, Velka, it's Rob and Sophie.
What's interesting is you really see how the biggest issue here is not being talked about. The biggest issue here is that Sophie feels like shit about herself.
Yeah.
And it's not,
and she's looking for someone else to make her feel good about herself.
which guys can't be done. It's just not possible. You have to find that in yourself.
The biggest, she just feels
that is the
worthless.
one issue that. And it's not, Rob has a shit ton of issues here, but none of this is going to be fixed because Sophie is basically saying, because Rob hears she talks about the online cheating, and Rob goes, "We already worked through that." I'm like, "No, you really didn't, because you can never say you're sorry. You will never apologize
When you
for
do
anything."
say you're sorry, you defend it, which then it becomes an unapology.
Yeah.
I don't mean this to be funny. I mean this as a metaphor. That wig on her head is a metaphor for who she thinks she is. Seriously. Like, I love now that she's kind of got more natural with her. But what's the best thing for Sophie? She needs to divorce Rob. She needs to go away. She needs to do therapy, group
Fuck
therapy.
a lot of girls.
She needs to not talk to her mom.
Yep. That
For-
mom is, this is overused word, that mom is toxic.
She is toxic, yeah. So she needs to find people that support her and become very good. Have once, maybe twice a week sessions with a therapist or a group.
Yeah.
She needs
Group
that.
therapy would be really good.
It would be fantastic.
where she
for
could
her.
actually learn to talk like a person without being judged.
and see it modeled.
Yeah.
Of someone talking and not being judged and valid. Because you brought up a really great point. What was fascinating was the interaction when Sophie was like, "I just need you to tell me sexy things. I just need you to tell me." And we all need words of validation.
Yeah.
But Rob really didn't say that much. And then you see that she's like, "Well, that makes me feel better." But
It didn't do anything.
I will say, again, this isn't I'm just kind of pointing. It's probably always hard to read Sophie because her affect never matches the
flat.
words she says.
Yep.
So she's like, "Oh, that's great. I'm very excited." But she says it like a robot.
Yeah, and that's not just being British.
That's trauma.
It's trauma. And the idea that it's all it takes for him to say, "I like you. I think you're really pretty today." Mm-hmm. And also, narcissists, y'all, doles out compliments like they're the cheapest person alive.
Yeah.
And you have to earn it.
Yeah.
And the thing about this is that him giving her a compliment is basically like putting a drop in the driest part of the Sahara.
Yeah.
It does one little thing for that moment, and she goes, "Oh, I feel the pain that I feel is a little bit better, so that's okay."
But if you don't water yourself,
Exactly.
that's where the long standing
It can't come from other people.
Yeah.
And she really thinks it can. So we talk about a lot of things. This is it. I do believe that Sophie wants her therapist to agree with her. So Sophie tells the therapist, "He makes you dress up in all kinds of outfits. That's all he wants to do is have sex." So basically, she is trying to say, "I'm the normal one, I promise," even though she doesn't feel normal. Mm-hmm. And then for Rob, it triggers the fuck. And he's like, "I'm not no deviant. I don't want
Don't make a narcissist look bad.
Right.
Look crazy, as he says.
And also, there's a weird, almost homophobic quality to if I like muscular women, I must kind of.
Yeah.
That's kind of like gay adjacent.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is weird when he is saving female bodybuilders and saying it's for my fitness inspiration.
Kind of ends with Sophie saying, "We've got a lot of walls to build down," but she says in the camera, she says, "But he makes me feel stupid for the things that I see." Yes, honey, that's gaslighting.
Yeah.
So
There one other thing to talk about is when Rob is talking about Velma from Scooby-Doo cosplay. I'm going to say this. You can have your kinks. I have never heard a man say that. Women, yes. Lesbians, yes. Lesbians want to fuck the shit out of Velma.
Okay, so I did have a straight friend who thought when that movie came out, a lot of guys thought the woman that played Velma
That's because Linda fucking Cardellini is gorgeous.
I know, but that got a lot of guys into Velma.
Oh, so just because Linda Cardellini...
I think maybe. Now, if Rob was just talking about the cartoon, that's fucked up.
I think he was.
But if they're talking about the movie, because he was probably, when he was young, that movie was really big.
I see.
Because my nephew is 26. I remember
So
he loved Scooby-Doo
Linda
movie.
Cardellini in Scooby-Doo, not orange bobbed head Velma.
Or the Mindy Kaling version.
Yeah.
Probably not that cartoon, which I don't think I only got one season. But it wasn't great.
Anyway, no, wasn't. So,
But not to defend him, would you fuck Shaggy or Fred?
100%. But I am deviant.
And there's the rub.
I am. But so, and I don't say I'm not.
Shaggy have a big dick.
He's a huge, thin dick, and it can get, it's like rotor, get all up in
and
there.
he's just high, just fucking you all night.
Yeah.
And Fred's taking it.
Jinkies.
They just need to make Fred gay in the next one.
I agree.
But Freddie Prinze was so hot in him. Those movies are really good. They're really cool. I like the first one.
Not his father.
Freddie Prinze Jr. Yes, yeah. I love him in SMG. Couple goals.
I think that's a pretty shared.
Don't y'all talk shit about them.
I don't know if that's a.
I'll defend.
Don't know if that's a hot take.
I'm being brave. I'm taking a stance.
So y'all, there's this one thing where the therapist finally is there. They flushed out a lot of things, but nothing really ever starts to. Nothing ever really happens, except in that very end where the therapist is trying to get Rob to be vulnerable, which is going to be impossible for him. The thing is, the only thing that could happen here is when Rob is in a controlled situation and he does feel like he might be free to say a little bit more who he is. That may help, but he is a really, really entrenched narcissist.
You're going to have to use, and I remember I didn't use the word a lot of vulnerability in therapy because it's such a, it's a triggering word to people now because it's so much in the vernacular.
Yeah. We talked about that, how a lot of what people think vulnerability is not true vulnerability.
Well, no, what I was going to say actually was different is that even when they're talking about actual vulnerability, I do think we associate that to be vulnerable is a little painful.
Yeah.
And people don't want to do things that are painful. So it's fine to use different words. But if I was like in therapy, I would talk about being truthful.
Yeah.
Authenticity. Words that have a little bit of a positive spin, but are really kind of the same thing.
I agree with you.
And can get there. And you would have to do that with a narcissist because, like you just said,
they can't tolerate
vulnerability is their kryptonite.
Yeah. And
truthfulness is too. But, but there are, like, we dig a lot because there's so many narcissists on these shows. But there are people, I just follow an Instagram account of this guy who is diagnosed narcissist and he's like working. So but it's a lot of work to do that, but it can happen. And it's treatable.
So we kind of described that thing at the end where he's like, "Can I kiss you?" Or like it's like, "Can I stay with a kiss?" And they kiss. And I think the show was trying to show some kind of progress, the editing, but I was kind of like, I said this before, it's a drop of water in the Sahara.
It is. And it's interesting too, if you see, Rob actually was a little bit more in the moment and gave her a nice kiss.
I know.
And Sophie couldn't accept it and do it. It just it just all arrows point to sexual trauma.
And y'all, the thing here is
we don't know about her dad at all.
We do not.
That's all I'm saying.
We do not. All right, Lauren Alexi. There's not a lot here. I'm grossed out by. I'm grossed out by all surgery stuff.
And I forgot. I meant to tell you almost. You probably don't even want to watch
plastic
it.
Surgery when they're like rooting around in the bodies.
Yeah,
and
really.
they always show the containers full of like bloody fat. I'm so grossed out. So like trigger warning if you're like me and you hate surgery talk.
Of course,
you're into it.
I'm a pimple popper. I like watching it. It's interesting.
You're fucking sick.
So there isn't that much. She's in surgery. It's a 6-hour surgery. Really, most of the footage is just watching Alexi be nervous. There's some moments where Marlene calls, they talk. I think my favorite moment is when they said, "We have a delivery for Lauren," and she ordered herself food but didn't order him anything. Lauren,
if you remember Lauren's first season, Lauren says, "I plan everything. I'm a planner. That's how I..." And someone like Lauren, who's extremely, extremely anxious, that is how she regulates her life. And the thing about Lauren has been very vocal about her Tourette's, which I'm sure is definitely part of the manifestation for anxiety. But
and not associated with her mother at all, I'm sure.
Did you?
Wonderful person.
God, she's a fucking gargoyle. When Marlene calls, she's like, "So you didn't have any luck in convincing her that she couldn't get the surgery?" And she's like, "I'm sending all the good energy." And he's like, "Oh, you are?" And she's like, "Don't you feel it?" She was like, Marlene was horrible. Their first their first season of Happily Ever After, she was even worse. On their spinoff, she was a monster.
She was a monster, yeah.
Yeah.
She was really...
So y'all,
Again, happy Mother's Day.
Lauren really needs to set some boundaries with her mom.
By the way, go to our Instagram. Caitlin knocked out a fucking great Mother's Day meme celebrating our TLC mothers. So check that out.
This is basically the only thing we can say here is the surgery's great. Everything's fine. They're talking about breathing exercises for her to do. And he's like, so when I was taking care of her C-sections, it was a lot of work. But this is like, I'm going to be wiping her butt. I'm going to have to do everything.
I mean, you see the scar that they did. They cut you open.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
At the end, y'all, she's all bandaged up and she's like, I did it. And then her eyes are bugging out. She looks like fucking E.T. when they're pushing in that wheelchair.
She does. When she looked at him with her eyes out, she's like, there's 3 of you. I didn't, because I had a 6-hour surgery. I didn't have that. But you do wake up when you're in surgery for that, maybe short periods too, but when you're that long, you do wake up super cold at first.
Interesting.
My blood pressure skyrocketed. They had to give me medicine for all that shit.
So they're basically...
I want to say too, I would never let y'all film me after surgery. The fact that Lauren let them do this,
I'm sure it was probably in the contract.
but that is, I don't have that much bravery to put myself out there in that way. So I do say kudos to her for that. That's not an easy thing to do.
So she goes, do I look snatched?
That was hilarious.
Anyway, they push E.T.
He's like, you have big boobs, babe. She's like, really?
I will say, these two people really do love each other.
They do.
And this is nice to see on Happily Ever After.
It is.
And because, fuck. I turned the page. I seriously doubt Ashley and Manuel can make it. I have a lot of reservations. They fuck great, y'all, but the actual bedrock of a relationship, I don't think is there. And we heard more in this. She keeps alluding to her past, and I really hope we find out. Because she uses it, but she tangentially refers to it. But I feel like literally her literal mente. I feel like her past relationship trauma is literally the third person in their relationship. And
I would add to that yes, 100% agree to that. It feels like that. It feels like her exes are in the room.
Yeah,
and something in his past feels in the room as well. Just because, and I only bring that up because it's interesting that even when Jonathan tells him, you both have fault in this relationship, he's like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
And it's like, but she does too. They're really kind of, neither of them is taking any responsibility.
Yeah. So let's move in to discussing. Jonathan calls Manuel. Ashley's meeting them. Mm-hmm. He's like being a mediary, acting like a therapist. And Ashley does show up saying he needs to be warmer to me right now. And one thing I wrote down, he always calls her a drama queen and how dramatic this woman is. He is always the one who leaves as well.
Oh, that's a good point.
He's just as much of a drama queen.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point.
He is. He's just as much of a queenie and saying things like, oh, this woman. It's very drag queen-esque.
I hate it when people say someone is like
Dramatico,
or just because I feel like it's just the quickest and cheapest way to just dismiss feelings.
It is.
But she is intense.
It is. And to me, a lot of what she does, and to me, I wouldn't say dramatic. A lot of what she does feels performative.
Yeah. Maybe I was called a dramatic child.
Yeah. And it's not, I think being dramatic is very different than performative. Mm-hmm. I think when someone says dramatic, that means the stakes are really, really high and you are actually feeling that. So when someone says stop being dramatic, I was called that too as a child. Shocking, I know.
But us called dramatic.
But for me, the stakes are that high all the time. That's kind of how I live. And I see that for her, but I see a performative side that if I'm doing the podcast, I'm going to throw that in too. And that's what she's doing a little for me.
And also, when someone's called dramatic, you're saying that usually their stakes are high when the stakes, the reality is they're actually not. And that's what I think. When people say you're being dramatic, basically they're saying you're making a mountain out of a molehill.
But
I don't think she's doing that.
But
I think,
that's someone saying the stakes for me aren't high. But I don't know your stakes.
No, yes, that's what somebody's putting their,
putting their measure situation, but they don't know how you're feeling.
Yeah, exactly. But in this situation, I think the stakes are high because this is about their marriage.
Well, the stakes are high, and it's what she's saying feels completely irrational.
Yeah.
I had to take a moment where this is the first time we've heard this too, and I want to throw this out here.
Maybe the planes went to lunch.
Manuel says the planes are on lunch. If I tell you, she says, my point is punto, my punto, not puto, like Nicole's sister said.
Oh yes.
Or like Chantel thought she said.
Yes.
Punto. Did you just call me a whore? Yes. And she says, tell me, which I agree. That's not hard to do. He responds, though, with, if I do, you would say, like you do all the time, you would ask me a series of questions. Who are you? Where are you? Who are you with? Send me your location. Send a photo.
Yes. The disconnect is Ashley keeps saying, it's so simple. I just want you to tell me where you are. No, she doesn't want to just tell. She wants the whole book. She doesn't want just like a paragraph.
As Jasmine would say, evidence.
Evidence.
And remember when remember when Jasmine had to have Gino get the phone with the girl?
Yes.
The girl would take out. He's like, who is she?
That was great.
Jasmine is so much better now that she's actually in Michigan with Gino.
Oh, yeah. Much better. It is, and we don't know if Ashley, my gut says Ashley was that from the beginning, but maybe she wasn't that way with him because he was held stuff and it's gotten worse. But I feel like she probably wanted all the information from the get-go of the relationship.
I agree. I said this before at the last live show. What has he actually done that makes her distrust and makes her think that he's cheating on her?
Well, a lot of Sissy said to you in that live show, but the whole thing with his kids and keeping the kids like that, that was a really big thing for her.
But I don't think she translates that to you're seeing other women.
Has she actually said that? I don't discredit you for maybe thinking that, but has she actually said that?
But why would she?
I know she's mentioned talking to the ex-wife.
Why would she mention, where are you? Send me your location.
No, yeah, it feels like then it's only cheating, yeah.
And to me,
I wish she would just say that, though. She hasn't actually said, like, because what I think you're bringing up a good point is that she's asking for evidence, but she never declares the crime.
Right.
So he doesn't know.
And that's why he's so fucking frustrated.
And I don't think he knows what she's accusing him of.
No.
Yeah.
Also, y'all, none of the women in Manuel's life ever put any pressure on him to do anything, or if they did, he would leave.
I disagree. I said last episode, I think that he has had relationships with really overbearing women, and she triggers him.
No, I'm saying he would just leave those relationships.
Yeah, he was able to leave. Yes. But I think he's had expectations. He probably was like, I'm out.
Yeah. And this is another situation like that.
But he can't leave.
Right.
Because he's stuck in the U.S.
And
Jonathan's just Jonathan.
Poor Jonathan.
What was
Jonathan said, this is a fucking mess.
We could have a support group for friends of 90 Dayers.
This is why she says dramatic. She said, started off my day crying, Llorado. Mi corazón está en dolor. It's also in that Spanish textbook or the Spanish teacher who's only been teaching for 2 years and they don't have a good accent. It's that when he goes, she does have a way of talking when she's literally talking to one other person, literal mente, that feels like she's talking to a room.
Yes.
And that's great on TV, but not great for we're getting towards authenticity.
Yes.
And I think
as
that's,
Jonathan says, this is a fucking mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting how when Manuel says, he says to her, if you want to understand me, you have to learn to understand others. That's true. Again, like you were saying earlier, I don't know if he does that per se, but Jonathan says to Ashley, he just wants some trust. Do you trust him? She can't answer it. She just sits there and kind of starts to cry.
This is where...
That feels a lot of like past stuff.
This is where I don't know if they can go past this unless she works out her relationship trauma and they get in a room and the therapist says over and over again to both of them, Manuel, Ashley, Manuel is not any of your exes. Again, repeat that.
Yeah.
So, but the kids thing was a completely different thing that he was shady about his life. I still think this is all about figuring out if he's going to cheat on her. It feels that way to me.
Yeah.
Because it's that insecurity. And what he feels is this woman never trusts me. I have to show her evidence for everything. I can't have any. He is suffocating. Because
he's suffocating. Yeah. And he also, for whatever reasons, he also doesn't like sharing all of his life.
Yep.
So he's withholding.
I understand that.
And he's very withholding. And they're only going to make it if they go to therapy. But he said that he's refused to go.
Yeah.
So
that's where I'm thinking it's DOA.
Yeah.
Later on, she goes, I'm very upset there are no Spanish speakers in Rochester. I think the only other way to add a third thing here is they need to go someplace where he has community. Because she's not enough for him. No one is.
No one is.
And I think she thinks she can be enough for him.
Yeah.
You need friends outside your marriage, y'all.
And Jonathan says you both need to apologize and start from zero. And Manuel, I love the line where he says, she needs to trust me. What else can I do? I lost my appetite.
So dramatic.
He walks.
Muy dramatico.
And he walks away. Yeah, muy. That is when he says she's dramatic. But it's like.
That's the thing. He's just as much of a queen.
He's just as much of a drama queen. He comes back and Jonathan's like, there's a lot to discuss. And he's like, and he says, my conclusion is you both are to blame. And Manuel fucking laughs in his face and says, no, she has to apologize to me. And he is like, there's like a brutishness about him that you just want to shake him sometimes and just say, because I do go back to this and saying, like when she says things, I know he needs more friends in Rochester. Yeah. She empathizes with him. He doesn't empathize with her.
It's just not,
It's not in him though, let me just say, he doesn't empathize with her, but he doesn't empathize with anyone. But Ashley feels like it's about me.
Yeah,
that's just the way he is.
But we said this before. You have to teach straight men to have empathy.
Yes.
So that's going to have to be something. And y'all, you might say, but so it's on me to teach a straight man empathy. Yes, I'm sorry. And you're looking at like, when are they going to learn this? They're not, because they're stupid. They're emotionally dumb when it comes to empathy.
And culturally, they even dig deeper into
Oh my
those.
God.
Yeah.
This is Latin American culture.
Yes.
He's never questioned. And if he is questioned, it's coming from some almost a nagging point of view.
Yes. I remember having a client from South America who it was like pulling teeth just get him to say I'm sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ashley refuses to apologize or take any responsibility either. So then they're winding up. He's like, she's in the car, and Manuel's like kind of jokingly saying, like kind of trying to disarm the situation. like he normally does. So can I come with you? And instead of that,
Because that's what he does. Sex and funny. He's
Yeah.
funny.
and so it doesn't work. She goes, get in the car, Manuel, which is just for him. A wife does not talk to his husband,
Yeah.
her husband that way in where he's from. And he's like, so this is how my wife, like, oh, I'm going with the boss. It is very honeymooners in a way. Without the subtle threats of domestic violence.
How to do la luna.
Anyway, y'all.
Let's actually talk about Patrick and Thais because I
Yeah.
don't want to end because nothing really happens, and then we'll end with Gino and Jasmine if that's fine by you.
Yeah.
Okay, Patrick and Thais. Not much, just Patrick being Patrick, meaning that he just had to do the simplest,
This
easy
codependent
thing.
motherfucker. Y'all, this is the most codependent person on television.
It's like, but I wanted to say this. After all we've seen with him, now's when you stand up for yourself. Now, like you said, now you go to therapy. Now you do. Like, this was the one time you just need to give someone what they want.
This is inflated. I think if it's not, he's behaving out of character.
It feels, thank you. It feels out of character because he seems real butthurt and like he's got to man up and like be friends with her dad before he asks for the blessing. And
This is more about Patrick than the blessing or their marriage. And because Patrick feels like he's been slighted.
the only thing that would make this if this was real and will be interesting when he sees his brother is that John talked him into not doing it when he first meets the dad.
I could see that.
Like, what you need to get a respect. Why you gotta play? You need respect. You need respect, brother.
This is all about respect, and y'all know how I feel about that word. He basically says, I need to earn his respect so then I can ask for the blessing. What he doesn't feel like he wants to do here is he wants to establish some type of less subservient feeling that he's feeling from the father. Because I actually understand this a little bit. I still think it's inflated, but what he's trying to say is this is not how you will treat me as your son-in-law.
Well, guess who has daddy issues?
I know.
Patrick. And I do think he can't say no to his father, so let me say no to hers.
Yeah. I also think that she could have done a lot
fucked
more
up
to
transference.
broker this.
Because
she
did
just
sit there and
rolls
then
over.
just got mad at him. And she did say in that last episode, she did say, but I'm the one, but I feel like she needed to own the decision more. But also, that doesn't matter because culturally, it's not an American culture stand.
Yeah,
This
she's always
guy's
going to be
like,
princess.
it doesn't matter what the woman does. The man makes decisions, leads the pack,
Yeah.
what the fuck ever.
Yeah.
You did wrong.
Yeah.
And so they're on the way home. Again, I do enjoy when we have normal fights on 90 Day Fiancé when he drops her off because he's going to go see John and she's pissed off. And he's like, you're not taking the dog. She's like, it's your dog.
It's your child.
And I just screamed, why did you take the dog to fucking... Why? Why? Someone can watch the dog.
I agree. Let's talk about the beauty pageant workshop and
I'm here for this. Gino and Jasmine.
it's time for the beauty pageant workshop.
Look, this is growth because she even kind of mentions it. But the fact that Jasmine is letting Gino be in a room with all of these beautiful
I totally
women.
agree.
This is growth. And this shows this couple is changing one another for the better.
I agree. And but like I brought up earlier when he would have to say evidence, receipts. She is letting him, and she does say, don't look at them or I'll pick out your eyes. Or I pull out your eyes.
But yes, it was so she's practicing her beauty queen smile and she says she's happy to be there. She's excited. We meet a woman named Angela. Air show started up again. They're off lunch.
They're off lunch. I've got to say, I loved Angela in the Hunger Games. As one of the women, and I was thinking. Also, I think
I loved Angela in her Ronald McDonald era.
Yes,
with that hair.
I'm happy that Leona Helmsley's younger sister has found. Boy, that's a reference.
That's a. Did you find now?
Everyone over 40 just either got that, or 50 just got that and snarfed, or you Googled who is Leona Helmsley.
30-year-olds didn't know. I will say, did you? I know you did. I don't even have to ask, but even I did. I had a weird obsession with Leona Helmsley when I was a child.
I did too. It meant you were gay.
Yeah. Like I loved the Suzanne Plachette, I think, was in the television movie.
That sounds right.
What? Oh, it was so good.
She was. If you don't know, she was a slumlord.
We actually, our New York office for the law office was there for 10 years. I wrote a rent check every month to the Helmsley building.
Shut up! Oh yeah, stop it!
Yes, it's still in New York.
Anyway, she was a slumlord, supposedly the cruelest woman alive.
Yeah,
but she had that kind of look. But Angela seems lovely. Angela is the CEO of the Miss International World, which is definitely not a front for human trafficking.
Not at all. Yes, I was right. The movie, just so people know, it was in 1990. It was
when
called,
most gay boys were watching TV movies.
Yes, Leona Helmsley, the Queen of Mean.
Yes,
it was started.
She was known as the Queen of Mean.
Yes, it was Suzanne Plachette, Lloyd Bridges.
Yes.
And that's kind of it
What
as
a
far
cast.
as famous people. Yeah. Oh, it's great.
They had a lot of good quotes. Here, while you're keeping, I'm going to see if I can find these Leona Helmsley quotes.
Yes.
We are only talking to people in their 50s right now.
Oh yeah. Our fifth, y'all, man. Oh man, I kind of want to watch that movie now.
Oh wow. She died in 2007.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Which feels weird to say a long time ago, but that was a long time ago.
Some great quotes of Leona Helmsley. Oh, I remember this. Little people pay taxes.
Yep, she did say that.
Money enhances a man, but as beauty enhances a woman. There's some really good ones.
Oof.
I don't hire people who have to be told to be nice. I hire nice people.
Wasn't she the last person tried for slavery in the United States?
I don't know.
I think that was part of. She was. I think there was like slavery accounts and things like that.
Wow.
So, anyway, all right. We're gonna get kicked out of my room soon, so we need to move on.
I'm glad this is
But
just been
it
about
took you
Leona
down a
Helmsley.
wormhole. You know what? Gino and Jasmine are fine. The rest of the pod is just about Leona Helmsley. I wonder if you can watch that movie anywhere.
She's told she may have to serve jail time. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Woo.
So, but that said,
we meet Salousher, Dallas, and Marriott, which I wrote are 30 Rock names.
their names
these
came
three
up,
women.
and I just wrote Poodle will get them. I was like, I'm
These
fine.
are definitely names of people invented on 30 Rock.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I don't know where they found these women, but Dallas is probably already going to win because she's so like, but when you feel beautiful, and then you will be beautiful. And that's what I learned today. Smile.
Because she says, and she's like, don't think about age. Age is nothing.
And Dallas is 44.
Yeah, she looks good.
Yeah.
She looks good.
And Jasmine talks about struggling with alopecia. And that's when Dallas says, do you know how many of us are wearing wigs? We're doing what we need to enhance our natural beauty.
It is funny that they said the way for you to feel beautiful is to put fake things on your body. So I just...
Yeah. I think everyone can find their way to what they feel like. I think there's probably a way to discover inner beauty that is probably more lasting. But I think this is what Jasmine needs.
But we don't have alopecia.
First. Right.
I think when you're...
But
yeah.
What I'm saying is I think things like this are a good start to self-love.
Yes. I think so,
And-
because there's a lot. Some people have. I remember there would be people that have
trichotillomania.
and so I remember I
Pulling
found
out your
out when
eyelashes.
I worked at the Clinique counter at Quail Springs Mall in Oklahoma City. Have you ever talked about that? Working at the Clinique
once.
counter. Okay.
Once, maybe in passing.
Maybe in passing.
Quail Springs Mall.
But I remember
Yes.
a woman
Once.
came up and I was doing her eye makeup and she was so shameful about saying, well, I have this and da-da-da. And I went, and I'm not, luckily I'm pretty easygoing, not judgmental. And I was like, okay, great. We're going to put false eyelashes on you. But it's that idea that I remember her feeling like she was a bad person because
Yeah.
she had to have those. And Jasmine probably feels like I'm a bad person because I wear wigs or a hair extension.
Yeah, that's true.
Do whatever makes you fucking feel beautiful.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. She does say it is the
Aunt
interesting.
Peggy wears a wig. Now she takes it off when she's cooking because she gets hot and puts it by the stove. But then she just throws it back on when she's done with the meal.
You mean if we went into your Aunt Peggy's kitchen, there'd just be like a mixing bowl, a little bit of a measuring cup, and a wig?
Anyway, she's like, I walked in, she's like, baby, I'm making fudge. It's hot. I had to take off the wig. I was like, Aunt Peggy, you do you.
Ooh, just don't
Sometimes she'll
don't
put
get-
her lip down by it too.
Yeah, just don't put it in a peanut butter sandwich. Later on, I do think it's interesting that I think Willina says, focusing on what you like about your body. What's something you like about your body? And she says, I like my arms.
Great.
And it's that seems like a small thing, but I was like, that's progress for a lot of people. Some people can't even tell you one thing.
No.
I think that's a wonderful exercise for people to do.
I-
What's something you like?
Yeah, I think it's
Those of you who've seen our live shows know that I like to show off parts of my body.
you like a lot of parts of your body, clearly. Clearly. What I loved about this is Jasmine doesn't, besides her family, Jasmine doesn't probably have a lot of girlfriends.
She ain't a girl's girl.
But to have a group of like that moment where they all huddled around her,
Yeah.
and support, I was like, she needs this. She needs. It's for some women, it's not the acceptance of men; they need the acceptance of other women. Because I think that's harder to get than it. Because when you look like Jasmine, men are flocking to you all
Yeah.
the time.
And she thinks most women are out to steal her men.
To steal her man, that they hate her.
Yeah.
And I will say, there's a lot of, yes, there are vicious bitches and the Gabriellas of the beauty pageants who are just in it for themselves and all
Yeah.
that. But there are women who are really kind and nice to each other.
You are defending pageant culture.
I am, but the Miss American one, it's a different thing. Miss USA quit, and then Miss Teen USA quit a week later. Something fucking shady is good. Miss USA quit for mental health reasons, and then Miss Teen USA quit. We don't really know why, but something's going on. Miss USA, I'm not a fan.
I wonder how the Miss International World pageant would stack up.
I don't know.
Definitely not a front.
I am so sad I didn't get to judge that pageant.
In Possum Trot,
Oh, God.
Alabama.
I would have been so good at that.
Y'all, later on, we're
I
having
wanna
dinner
judge
with
one.
Leandro, who is so fucking hot.
I kind of want to message Jazz, but I don't, and just
We're
be
in
like,
Fort Lauderdale. We should see. We should see
He's
where
gay,
Leandro
right?
is.
Can
He
we-
has to be.
can we meet him?
He is definitely gay.
We should have planned better.
Here's the thing: Jasmine doesn't have male friends who aren't gay because she tries to fuck all the men.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will say, not that she needs the validation, but and I don't mean it. I'm bringing this up because when we met Jasmine,
Yeah.
she is one of the most beautiful people I've seen in my life.
she's
in
really,
person.
really pretty.
She's stunningly beautiful. That doesn't matter what other people think about you. It's what you think about yourself.
Jasmine's making some Jasmine Ritas, which looks like
Looks like Poodle Ritas
looks like-
to me. How Poodle makes the drink.
The only difference is I peed him a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Is it that vinegar you like?
Yeah.
Yeah. Taste that pickle taste.
Just a little piss. Just a squirt. It looks like 11 parts tequila to 1 part lime.
Yeah. And they all take a drink of them. And Jess is like, it's good. And Gino just takes a drink and blinks.
And he goes, it's a little watery. She goes, what is watery? Oh, and she's like,
It's just tequila
I
and
didn't put
ice.
water. It's just ice and tequila. It's like ice is water. She just goes,
And even Leandro, it's kind of like if he is gay, he's
gay.
used to drinking alcoholic drinks. And
if a gay tells you a drink is too strong, y'all,
It's too strong.
It's more than too strong.
She kind of made them like how the first time when you're in college and you make daiquiris or margaritas for the first time, and they're just horrible.
You're right. You're like, I guess this is what people do when they drink margaritas.
Yeah.
No, this would burn a hole in cement.
Yeah.
Anyway, and Gino says, 37 anos, which means 37 anuses.
And they laugh about it. Yes, it's
Instead of años.
She needed this trip. I'm really glad that they had this. It's great. No, but when we do have this moment where Gino is cooking and she's talking to Leandro and they're playing a game and
what game is this?
I don't know. It looked fun
Looks like
though.
two bolos.
It looked and you throw it and it's got to wrap around a pole. I would like that.
Let us know what game this is.
That would make me
y'all.
feel like Batman when he throws stuff. So I'm
I
all
like
about it.
throwing things, especially balls.
I got a Batman costume too. I'll just do it.
When do you have a Batman costume? Is that the ones we have?
Yeah, it's the ones we have.
When do you get to be Batman?
I'm taller.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I just,
That's it. That's the only reason.
accepted it.
So,
I just accepted it.
but well, if I could be Batman, you could be Catwoman.
Oh,
But they want to fuck
please.
each other, so that
Oh,
rules
that's not
that
good.
out. Well, but if you were Robin, they kind of want to fuck each other too.
Yeah, they do.
Y'all, don't go into it. Don't Google Batman and Robin gay because the slash you're
it's
gonna get.
hot.
Holy shit.
Hot.
So now we get your dramatical part where she finally tells him, she says, I don't feel like I'm ready to have a baby. And Gino seems shocked. And she said, I don't feel like I'm ready to have a baby. And then Gino says, so are you telling me you don't want to have a baby?
Ever.
And she says, I don't know. I can't say yes.
I think, did this happen after dinner? Because otherwise, I'm very upset that Gino went to bed before dinner.
I think it looked like it was after or before.
Okay.
It looked like he was still
I
cooking.
don't like that.
Well, food went to waste.
I don't ever like to go to bed. You will never find me going to bed without dinner.
You will go to bed angry, but not hungry.
Exactly. I go to bed angry most nights. Unless I've been banged. And then I'm kind of like,
So he says, I'm going to bed. I can't do this. Jasmine's kind of sitting there. I don't know how much of realism's in this.
It felt fake to me, too.
The
The beauty pageant thing, I think, was 100% real.
I am more interested in Jasmine being in beauty pageants and
too.
getting jealous of Gino looking at other women. I'm here all day, air day for this.
What are you doing?
I like Leandro. I wish he could move to Michigan. So we could look at him
He's
more.
not
but
gonna
so she had
go
a friend.
there.
Who the fuck would go to Michigan? Although you
From
know
Miami.
what? After driving and all this traffic, there are a lot better drivers in Michigan. I thought
It's
so.
a sliding scale. No, the thing is, people have contempt for traffic laws here.
Where
Contempt.
Where do you? And we don't have much time because they're about to kick me out of my room. Where would you? Because I have found that Minneapolis was great. Everybody was very Minnesota nice while driving. Do you feel like is the best place to drive in the U.S.?
Wherever I am, wherever I'm driving around, and
I'm not here. I can't do this Enneagram 4 bullshit. Let's just end the show.
I think in general the Midwest is pretty good. People are pretty respectful. That could have its own problems though. Because
Chicago's not in that.
it's bigger cities. Bigger cities are just cesspools to drive
Yeah.
in. everyone's just an asshole and out for themselves.
I will say
so am
it
I,
was
so.
shocking in Toronto. How we never heard a car honk once.
No, it's true. People are still. People are kind of like being a little too Canadian, but they're also not really aware of what's going on.
They're not assertive.
In Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
really finding a right place to drive for you is real hard. It's a fine line between reckless and good.
I know. It's like when someone's trying to make me come. You gotta get in there and be nice, but you also gotta choke me harder. Hit me with that 57 Chevy.
Can that plane come right now and just crash into me, please? Please, I'd love that.
It takes a mixture of honey and
Please.
vinegar.
Come F-47. All right, Black Hawk Copter, whatever. All right, everybody, that's the show.
Black Hawk down.
Florida, peace out. Reality gaze out, Florida. This is it. Our swans. I'm flying back today.
I'm flying back on Monday.
The next time you hear from us, we'll be back in California. Here I come. Until then, go to if you want updates on the live show, the best way to get that information is to look on Instagram.
On Reality Gaze Podcast.
Or if you're in the Sissy Squad, we will be making a Sissy Squad post for that. But the Instagram will have our link tree for that, where you can check that out. Again, we hope the pre-sale is on Wednesday and the general admission tickets will be released on Friday. For the people in RG Plus, we'll send you an actual a post. But for the people I said that like Liza Minnelli, post. And people on Apple subscriptions will get an actual audio
podcast.
So you will get a little blurb where you can get that information too.
And y'all, if you don't have if you've said, oh, I've silenced all my Patreon or Supercast notifications. That ain't our problem.
Just so then you might either want to turn them on, or maybe Wednesday morning.
Double check.
Usually it's around 10 a.m. your time.
Yep.
And we would send it hopefully 30 minutes before. So around 9:30 your time, be checking your
10
Patreon,
a.m. for probably
Supercast.
the time zone of the venue.
Yeah. In your area, 9:30, be clicking to see what's going on.
Yes.
All right, everybody. We call these people lonely hearts because aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love in all the wrong places?
Yes. And if you've ever said, I'm sending good vibes, don't you feel them? To someone, first of all, you might be a pretty bad gargoyle. And you can call us.
You can call us.